This edition of Mac Voices is brought to you by Opsgenie by Atlassian. With Opsgenie, your next incident doesn't stand a chance. Visit Opsgenie.com for your free account. Welcome back to Mac Voices. This is a talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. And folks, as you know by now, we are doing our holiday gift shows. They're part gift shows, they're part just fun times getting together with friends around the holidays and having some laughs and comparing hardware and just enjoying each other. And that's what we're doing this time around. If you haven't been here for one of our gift guide shows before, the rules are pretty simple. You can pick pretty much anything, although we encourage something tech-oriented, obviously, something that plugs in and turns on. And also, you can't pick anything that previous panels have picked. And as we record this, we have done 3 previous panels, so not all the gifts are taken, but certainly there can be a few more challenges in trying to find things that haven't been taken. Last thing to note is that you don't have to take notes because I'm maintaining a full list of all the picks over on the Mac Voices blog at macvoices.blog. And also, if you enjoy something a little more graphical, I'm doing the same thing with a Mac Voices Gift Guide 2018 holiday magazine on Flipboard. So you can find links in the show notes to both of those. They have the same content, they just present them a little bit differently. And of course, the gifts that this panel picked are in the show notes for this show. With that, let's find out who's here, and then we'll have a little fun and see who's picking what. So I'm just going to take my screen the way it is for no particular reason. So first up, Mr. David Ginsburg. David, welcome. It's good to have you back.
Glad to be here. I think this is my 3rd gift guide over the past couple of years, so I always look forward to it every year.
Yeah. Well, I'm certainly glad that you were able to join us tonight.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Looking very festive, as she always does, although this time it's Christmas festive or holiday festive. Ms. Jean MacDonald. Jean, welcome.
Thanks for having me. I lost track of how many I've been on, but I was always jealous of the Mac mommy, Melissa. She wore a Santa hat one year, and I was like, why don't I have a Santa hat? So now I have one. So if you're listening to this and you can't see me, just picture me with a very festive Santa hat on.
Yes, that's good. Thanks so much for being here, Gina. It wouldn't be the holidays without you, no question. Also back joining us, Mr. Frederick Van Johnson. Frederick, you've been spending my money even pre-show. What are you going to do to me during the show?
Well, I sent you my list, but I got to tell you, I got sidetracked today at the Apple Store, so I'll reveal what happened. I don't know if I have any money left for Christmas now, but I'll tell you what happened there as we progress with the show.
Okay, well now maybe I don't feel so bad that if you spent all your money, now you're just graduating to mine. So.
Yeah, exactly. Got to spread the love.
Okay, so let's do the first round. And we'll just keep the same order to make it easy. So, David, you're up for first round.
Okay. Well, I found this interesting. I don't know anybody who has a clock radio. I think a lot of people have gotten rid of their clock radios really because they have your iPhone. Why do you need a clock radio for? But this one I found to be really interesting. It's made by iHome. It's the model is the IBTW39. It's a Bluetooth speaker, and it's got Qi charging built into it, and it also has a stand. So I love how I'm able to just put my phone right onto the stand, and it starts charging. It's got a big bright display for the clock. It does speaker. It also incorporates a lot of the home kit type of items too, because it's got an app that you can install on your iPhone, be able to interact with it too. But and it also works with IFTTT integration, and it looks slick. It's got a designer fabric on it, and really liked it. I especially with the Qi charging already included on it, it made it really easy to charge. It also has an additional USB charging port in the back of it, so I can plug my Apple Watch stand on it, so I can charge both my Apple Watch and my phone all in one place. So kind of it's like a one-stop shop for charging. So it's nice and having something nice on my nightstand. The clock does have a dimmer, so you can dim it although I'm not a huge fan of the way you can do it because you have to touch the screen to get it to turn on and off. I still haven't figured it out yet, especially if you're fumbling at night and all of a sudden you tap it and it goes real bright and then it kind of wakes everybody up in the room, including my wife. But they've got very similar types of settings, just like what a clock radio has with snooze and smart button, and doing like I said for the interactive with that. And it does have Bluetooth pairing, so it will sync also as Bluetooth device. So you can play it through the speaker if you so choose. Real nice device. I had gotten rid of my alarm clock because I figured, what do I need that for? I can just pull up my phone and have it on a stand and do it that way. But this one was really nice. And iHome makes some really neat products and good quality products for the most part. And pricing was actually, if you go to their site, it's at $79.99, but they've had it on sale. That's how I bought it, for $59.99. During the Black Friday pricing. So, real nice product. I really like it.
iHome does a lot of really interesting things. You don't always hear about all of them because they don't. I don't feel like they're quite as visible for some reason. But every time I see them at CES, it's like, wow, that's really different and unique. Yeah. And while they may not be quite at the top of the fidelity line, they're really at the forefront of aggressive design and trying to roll things together. So I really do applaud their work.
Yeah, and I also, another thing I didn't mention is the stand still, they really did a neat design with the Qi charger in it, because you can go not only vertical, you can go horizontal too. So if you have it next to on your nightstand, obviously, you want to be able to watch maybe a movie on your iPhone, you can have it in vertical mode, and it will, horizontal mode, excuse me, and you'll be able to charge it both ways, which is kind of neat.
Definitely. Great pick. Great start. Very practical and yet geeky. Yeah. So, yeah. Gene, take us into round one, and no, you cannot recommend your hat.
Well, it doesn't plug in, and it's very low tech. I am going to recommend, I think, my favorite little piece of technology, especially like when you compare like the price and the size and the quality ratio this year, is my Anker SoundCore Mini, which is a speaker. It's about the size, I'm going to hold it up, but obviously not everybody can see it if you're listening. It's like a little mini, I don't know what I can equate it to, but it totally fits in your hand, and it has great sound for a little portable speaker, and Anker makes great products. This has always just like seamlessly like connected with the Bluetooth. I've never had like problem. As soon as I turn it on, it just kind of finds my iPhone and then it's on. It weirdly has good bass. I don't know how they do that. Unscrew it and see what's inside there, because it's kind of magical. And I am not in the category of like a high tech audiophile person. I'm kind of afraid to be in that category, because I know once I go down that road, I won't be able to go back. It's kind of like, I also don't drink fancy coffee. I just want, things that I like. And this Anker speaker, I like it fine. In the kitchen, I can set it anywhere on the, windowsill, anywhere that I need it. It packs like a dream. It takes up almost no space in my suitcase. And it has a couple things I haven't used, but I think are pretty cool. Is it has a mini SD card slot. So you could play music right off of an SD card. And it also has an aux in jack. So you could plug something else into it to play off of it instead of going off of the Bluetooth. So there's like a button here. I don't even know what it's for, so I'm not going to describe it. And very easily accessible volume buttons, which I think is important for a speaker, because you want to be able to make it quiet when you need to. So, and the price of it. So it's pretty much readily available for $30. I did get it on sale for like $16, which was just insanely cheap. Wow. So maybe on Black Friday, that will be an option, or during the holiday sales, but it makes a pretty nifty gift, I would say.
Great choice. And for better or worse, yours is not the first Anker product to make this year's gift guides. Every year, I think Anker is one of those companies that gets mentioned multiple times. They just seem to do things right, reasonably priced, and good, solid products. So
Yeah.
glad to see that one made your list.
Yes.
All right, Frederick, do we get to hear the story now, or do we have to wait for the next round?
Well, I can kind of merge it with my first pick. Can I merge the story with the first pick?
Sure.
Okay, so I go to the Apple store, right, because I needed a band for my watch. And these are just bait to get into the Apple store. So I get in there, and I hadn't seen the iPad Pros yet in person. I'd read all the specs, seen the reviews, Renee Ritchie's thing. I saw everything. And I'm like, okay, let me go look at it. And I made the determination not to get one. So I'm like, you know what? My iPad is fine. Plus, I don't use that much anyway. So I go, you know where this is going, right?
You're poor now. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm $1,300 poorer now. Yeah. So I walked in and I walked out with this guy, which is the new iPad Pro, the normal size one for normal humans.
Right.
And I just finished setting it up right before we started recording here. So it's brand new, waiting on me to play with. So that's not a pick because I don't know if I'd recommend it as a Christmas gift unless you really love the other person.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
I'd
a lot of
recommend
love.
it.
Yeah, I would recommend it for a gift unless you got it like that. But my number one pick, or my first pick, these are in no particular order. My first pick is from a company called Picker, PICR.com. So this is a cloud-based service or a software as a service application that's designed for creative professionals. And I kind of found out about these services on a lark because I was looking for something else. And I was looking for something that would help me with billing. Right now we use FreshBooks and some other things sort of cobbled together like Calendly for calendaring and scheduling and all that. But what Picker does, it is kind of like a Salesforce. If you know what Salesforce is, it's like a Salesforce customer relationship engine that's boiled down and targeted specifically at creative professionals. So, and I had no idea things like this existed. So I go in there and I'm poking around. I'm like, okay, so now you can go in there. Say you're a freelance photographer or a wedding photographer, whatever. You can put your contracts in there. You can put your invoicing, all your different packages and add-ons. You can schedule through the app. You can answer questions through it. Basically, your entire business is inside this cloud-based app. And they have an iOS app as well so that you can manage things that way. So the flow would be someone comes to your website, they fill out a form, it goes into Picker and tags them as, okay, this is a new lead. And depending on the choices that they made in the form, it will send them a response, an auto response saying, hey, we're so glad you're interested in pricing. This is our top line pricing. Click here to schedule your consultation. So they click and they schedule. Now they're on your calendar within Picker, which is synced to your whatever other calendaring service you use. And then from that point forward, you could go through the entire process of them contacting you, you meeting them, you sending a contract to them digitally signing the contract, you invoicing them paying the invoice all through the system. And it's all in one little place instead of like, okay, I got to go over to FreshBooks for this and Calendly for this. And it's all in one location. And it's pretty fantastic. I thought it was like perfect. It's a monthly reoccurring fee unless you pay by the year, but it's sort of like the perfect gift for someone who is interested in changing their photography or their creative endeavors into a business.
So I have to ask, I assume that this is a subscription kind of service or something.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So
yeah.
if it's a subscription service, they don't take a piece of whatever you charge your client.
No, they don't. I'm on their page now, and they are integrated with, I believe, Stripe, so that you can just basically plug Stripe in as your payment processing engine, and all your transactions go through there. Of course, Stripe is going to take what 3% that they take out of the transaction, but Picker doesn't take anything out of it. They facilitate people going over to Stripe to do the transaction. I'm looking at their page now. Their fees they have a starter for $9 a month, and they say that's for people that are doing freelancing on the side. Then they have a part-time, which is $30 a month. That's for people that have a regular flow of clients, and then $50 a month for people that are running a complete business. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. I was pretty excited to see that these kinds of things exist. Whereas I know back in the olden days, it was all like Excel spreadsheets and this and the database that, and template this and phone calls, and now it can all literally be done in one streamlined, beautiful online app. So kudos to those guys for putting that together.
Wow, that sounds fantastic, and especially if you have the need, and especially I love the tiers, so that it's not like, okay, you get all these services in an all or nothing. It sounds like you can sort of ramp it up as you need it. So
yeah. And I thought I would throw that in there, because normally my picks are, this is my second time on, but previously my picks were sort of Atom-based toys and productivity tools, and this time I figured, software in the cloud, you can't go wrong with that, because it's always changing. So, and it's not your typical gift. So if I got that, I think I'd be really excited if I got that. Of course you can cancel at any time, but I'd be really excited as a freelance person to see that, oh, wow, I can literally revolutionize my business with this piece of software.
Well, and the freelance package, especially, I'm thinking that if you have a friend or a loved one who is trying to get a new venture off the ground, or is just kind of playing with it, but wants to add a little bit of organization, or you would like to add some organization for them, what a great way to do it. So yeah.
Absolutely,
I really like it.
Absolutely, yeah, it's pretty cool. I'd encourage folks to check them out at least, and play around with their trial. I think they have a free trial. I'm not sure how long it is. I think it's a couple of weeks at least for the free trial. But why not bang on it, see if it works, and if not, walk away.
Yep. Good. Great pick. Didn't see that one coming at all. Okay, so for my first pick, I'm going to sort of go a little bit in Frederick's direction, but not completely. Unfortunately, the world, is not filled with the holiday spirit all year round. There are plenty of bad guys out there always trying to steal your identity, steal your passwords, steal everything. So I want to recommend, first off, a subscription to 1Password. This is my password manager of choice. I love it. And with this subscription model, I really love the fact that they're doing that. And that kind of sounds odd, I realize. But it means that they are constantly monitoring, upgrading, improving 1Password to keep me and my passwords as safe as possible. They have a number of different features that we won't try to get into here, but it's more than just a password manager. It's a place to store securely a lot of information. The way they've developed it, the mobile version, you can erase all your passwords from your phone if you're crossing international borders and have concerns about your phone being taken. They have the Watchtower feature that checks to see if your passwords may have been hacked or if you have something that is really vulnerable. There are just so many great things to say about 1Password, and I think they're very affordable. But as we were getting ready to schedule this show tonight, I saw a notice that 1Password has done something really amazing for the holidays. If you are a 1Password subscriber or have a subscription that runs into 2019, you can gift a copy of 1Password to someone just with a click of the mouse. And I think this is phenomenal. Obviously, there's some great business reasons for 1Password to do it, but it also really says so much about them really trying to help the community. They value you as a customer, and they would like to have you help them get more customers. And I can think of very few companies that do it better than 1Password. So go check this out for you, for a loved one, for everybody on your list. And 1Password will make a return in a later pick for me, but we'll talk about that later. But for right now, go check it out.
Enough about 1Password.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hate to start out with something that's potentially on the negative side, but I look at it as, that means you'll be around and happy next Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Diverse first round. David, take us into round 2.
All right. My choice here is made by a company called DJI. It's called the Osmo Mobile 2. It's a handheld smartphone gimbal. It's pretty awesome. I have it right here sitting next to me. I don't have my phone on here, but it does an amazing job of being able to active track, motion lapse, zoom control. You have full control of being able to do all kinds of stuff with your smartphone for photography, doing selfies, doing stable and smooth moves. Which, I mean, I know a lot of people think you kind of look. I probably do this. I look kind of dorky doing this. Oh my god, this is kind of weird. But the cool thing, the way this thing is it actually balances using the app on the iPhone. So when the phone is in position, it will actually move with your movement, as well as it has controls down here on the base here, so you can actually go through and do these different types of positions. It's very stable. There's a lot of good time and motion type settings, cinematic and zoom control. Panoramas are awesome. I mean, you can do really great things with the panorama and being able to take pictures with your smartphone very, very easily. And tons of live streaming. Think about all kinds of the live streaming and all kinds of other things you could do with it. It's a very lightweight and clean device. I even found a base. I don't know if I have it here. It probably fumbled here. So, there it is. I have a base that I bought too. That they didn't really offer on the site, but I found it on Amazon. So this is the base. So it'll actually set on your table if you want to actually do some photography without you having to hold it, and then it screws right on the bottom. Of course, the bottom of the base has a screw mount, so you could mount it to a tripod if you wanted to as well. So very, very cool little device. And if you and for folks wanting to do these types of this photography, it is so ridiculously inexpensive, because I think when it first came out, the Apple Store was selling it. It was like $300, I think. They're selling it for $119 now on their site.
What?
Yeah. So I just went to went and clicked the buy now button. Yeah. Yeah. I clicked the buy now button, and right now, limited time pricing is $119 on the DJI store. I believe the Apple Store is selling it for $129. That's what I think I originally paid for it, but. It's a really nifty device, and I think for those of you who like to take photography, and I mean, my gosh, our smartphones, our iPhones are great cameras, and why not take advantage of it? I know, Frederick, you're going to be probably already breaking down trying to buy this thing. So.
I had a version 1.0 of that thing, and it was great. But then that one came out that allows you to use your phone with it, and I've been lusting after it ever since it came out. But I've been. The gravity has kept me away from it because I thought it was a little bit too expensive. But would you say $149?
No, $119.
$119. I mean, that has to be in their bag.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, and the app is very intuitive. I mean, you can control and do all kinds of the camera functions from the app as well. So you have a lot of great integration. It's amazing what it can do for being on an arm, and it balances. It's crazy. You do have to do initial setup with it, so you have to go in and actually set the mounts here and move things around so you have it adjusted properly. This is a spring action, so of course the phone will fit in there, no problem. It's a great little device. I found a little nice case for it too. Not little, it's pretty big, but it actually is free. It's a free-formed case, so it actually has it fits it perfectly. So. Great gift. I think I was excited when I bought it because what actually got me hooked onto it, I was actually at the Apple Store, and I enjoy going to the Apple Store and sitting in a lot of their Today at Apple sessions. I'm always going to learn something because that's why I go to these sessions. So I was in the one for the photography one. We walked around the mall at the store I was at, and there was a gal who had this and she was using it. I'm like, that thing is really cool. I want to find out more about this. And sure enough, it was only $129. And everybody was telling me, like you said, Frederick, it was like over $300. I was like, that's a little pricey for me if it was that much. But when they said $129, I was sold. So then I purchased it. So, but great time. This is a great time of year to purchase it now as a gift for Christmas. So
I'm glad I didn't see that in the Apple Store today.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. I just saw it last Saturday. So.
Come on, I'm sure there's still room on your credit card.
Yeah.
So.
It's only $119.
Yeah.
I'm going to readjust everyone's gift quality down a little bit now.
That's easy to do. You can.
Exactly.
I have some cheap ideas.
Gene, I thought I heard you utter a very unholiday word like unholiday.
I said darn it.
Yeah,
I think I said
something
darn
like
it.
that.
Come on.
But I love the reaction is like, oh, I have to go and buy this now. Like,
Seriously. I was thinking, can we take a intermission here so we can all order this? Well,
sold stock.
Because I have seen, I have been intrigued by the whole notion of a gimbal, and I had the last couple of years I've been using the iPhoneographer. Is that what it's called? Iographer. The Iographer, which I really like. It's a different thing, but it was a really good thing for making video. But the problem with that is it's completely custom made to that year's version of the phone. And so I have a couple of them I can't use anymore because I don't have that phone anymore. And I assume so that one you can put whatever iPhone you have, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, within reason, I assume. But and I like to make videos, and I like I don't have especially steady hands. So for me, the Iographer was just a godsend, and it helped me with a lot of stuff. But I think this would, but I assumed they were a few $100s, and so I didn't really look at that. And now you have. That's why I said that word, Chuck.
Oh, that's okay.
There's the iPhone XS Max, and it fits perfectly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, in the case, no less. Nice.
In the case, yeah.
Wow.
That was going to be my question, David. You can use it with third-party cases still on the phone?
Yeah, I've got the leather case on my iPhone here. Let me try it that way, and it's fitting perfectly.
Great.
And just have to. I had this originally for the iPhone 10, which was like the iPhone XS.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have to make some adjustments for balance and such because it was balanced for that. So, no, it works great.
Cool.
Okay, that may be a clean sweep. David picks it, and the three of us order it.
You should keep score on these, Chuck.
Right. Yeah, seriously, a spreadsheet with the dollar amount at the end of which we have.
Yeah, exactly.
That would scare me a little too much, Gene. So take us into round two, Gene.
So my next super favorite thing that I got this year is the Shure MV. It's MV88, I think it's the number. Yes. It is a portable microphone that with a lightning connector. I'm holding up the case for it now. Look how cute that case is.
Oh, yeah.
And so Chuck was asking me earlier about microcasting. I work at micro.blog now, and this year we added microcasting support to people's accounts so they could publish microcasts, which is essentially a podcast, but there's no one cutoff number for what's a microcast and what's a macrocast, but we're encouraging people because we're already encouraging people to microblog, we want to encourage people to microcast. And I wanted to have a microphone that I could use on the road, like when I go to micro meetups, because sometimes I get together with users of micro.blog. So this is it. There's the lightning connector, and it's the best microphone. So it really works well. It's a stereo condenser microphone. It's crazy, like amazing technology for the size. So I am now showing it attached to my iPhone. So you can rotate the microphone itself, so it can be at a 90-degree angle to your iPhone, or it can be in line with your iPhone, and you can kind of use it as a microphone, like in somebody's face. But it comes with software that lets you, it has the potential to record on either side of the microphone. So I've done podcast interviews with people, and I've set it to the setting that is for, two different sides, but it also has like monocardioid like settings. So it just works on my voice, like up close. It has like stereo. I don't totally understand all these tech options, but there's 4 of them. And it's pretty amazing, again, for this tiny little piece of technology. So it's not a cheap piece of technology. It's more than my ATR microphone, almost like double the price. So manufacturers' recommended price is $150. I did find mine at $129 one time on Amazon, and I just looked, and it's still $129. I don't think it goes any cheaper than that. But it's incredible. If you want to record anything out and about with your iPhone with minimum muss and fuss, because what I like about this is it's not like you connect a cable into your iPhone and then connect that cable into a microphone. It's just boom, it's on, and it works really well. And so I have used it. One of my podcasts that I do is with James Dempsey, who is the founder of the James Dempsey and the Breakpoints Band, and we do a productivity podcast called The Weekly Review, and he was in town, and I said, we were in a pub, and I said, let's try recording a podcast, and it worked. It's not like going to be pristine sound when you're out and about like that, but it worked really well. The other thing, I just have it always in my bag now because it's so small. One of my little podcast experiments, microcast experiments, is with my 5-year-old nephew. His name's Jonathan. It's called the Joncast. And I thought to myself, it would be fun to just record Jonathan every time I see him, and we make a podcast, and he's actually a total ham. Imagine that. He really hams it up for the microphone. And I think it helps that there's an actual microphone there. And we just do podcasts in like sort of 3 or 4 minute chunks. But I have been publishing them mainly for the family. Of course, we have a dedicated audience of like 12 people who love it. And then I have friends who enjoy it anyway because he's so engaging. But for me, it's kind of my gift to future Jonathan that he will have, first of all, a domain name because I got him jonathanmacdonald.me. And he'll have a podcast that at some point in his life, he might take over for himself or not. But he'll have all these recordings of himself when he was 5 and being a very opinionated 5-year-old. But yeah, with the Shure, it's the Shure MV88. And if you can think of any reason you might want to record people on your iPhone, and it's a thing, it's definitely a thing to get. And if you have a podcaster in your life, I think they'd really appreciate it because it's not the cheapest piece of technology, but once you have it, you want to start thinking of ways to use it.
Nice pick, Gene. Nice pick.
Yeah.
And anything Shure makes is so good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's cool. And I've got a portable mic that I take with me, but it's a corded mic. It's a lightning cable. But I just did something with it recently, and I've become a little bit more discerning over time, but I was a little disappointed in it. So I may check that out. Good pick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, Frederick.
Ready for the next one?
I'm
I
ready.
have hey Gene, I have that microphone. I want to piggyback on that. And I got I got it, I think a year or so ago, and I went and got from Amazon an extension lightning cable. So you plug it into your phone or your tablet or whatever, and that mic into the other end, and now you're not really bound to where
That's true.
your iPhone is. Yeah, and it just goes in the bag too. So those are, it was like $2 or something from Amazon Basics. So it's pretty cool.
That's a really good recommendation, because as much as I'm fine with it, like it's worked fine to just have it right attached to the phone, there might be a situation. I can think of something related to my pets, for example. They don't like the iPhone when it comes out, but they might not notice just the microphone.
Right. Absolutely. So my pick is non-tech related, requires no energy, no power, except for to actually purchase the thing. And this is a collapsible wagon. And I feel bad because I didn't know about these things until just recently. And I was in a sporting goods store here in the area, and I was in there looking for something to carry stuff around with, like to the beach, or if I needed to like carry more gear than I have arms available. So basically a wagon type thing, but I didn't want to get a radio flyer type wagon, right? So I find these collapsible wagons that are the coolest thing I've seen. I guess they're made from like baby stroller type technology, the fold up kind of technology. But you unpack these things and they're like a transformer. And it turns into this beautiful wagon with cup holders on it, a sunshade, and all this other stuff for all your gear to go in. But when you collapse it down, it has a little handle on it. You can carry it with one hand, throw it in your trunk or in your back seat or whatever. And you have this, a very slim profile, large amount of gear carrying device that can go with you. And the cool thing about it was the one I bought, and I bought it on a whim because it was like $79, right? So I'm like, how good can it be? It's a wagon for $79. There's got to be a catch or something. So I get this thing, I unpack it. Took 10 seconds to set it up. It's like literally just folded up into the box. I unfold it, and it was great, and it continues to be great. I don't know how I lived life without this thing for so long. So, I mean, and I think at that price, at $79, it's probably a gift. If you got it as a gift or several of these for a gift for people, it's something that they wouldn't expect to get either if they're living under a rock like me. So, and as a photographer, that carries gear around from time to time, or audio gear, or even just kid stuff around to the beach, you don't want to make multiple trips. You just unpack this thing, throw your stuff in it, and away you go. And it's, you can't beat it for that price. So I went on Amazon, and just in preparation for the show, I went on there and I just did a search for collapsible wagon. That was it, collapsible wagon. And when you do the search, you're going to be blown away at the end. It's like a whole genre of wagons in there that you can buy. Double-decker, short ones, fat ones, big wheels, little, it's all over the place. And these are all sort of adult-type wagons for taking adult gear around for whatever purpose you need. So I thought that's a pretty good pick. I think I may actually buy one or two for gifts this season, because it's, I like to give gifts that people don't expect to get, but then they will actually use and not re-gift or throw away. I think this would be one of those side gifts.
Yeah.
So that's my second pick.
Very nice. Very nice. I've got to go check this out. There are plenty of times I feel like I'm having to make 2 and 3 trips to the car to get gear out or whatever out. And if you had a wagon that you could just pop together very quickly and drag it around, that would be great. Yeah,
it's brilliant. It takes 10 seconds. I can, like, the amount of time over, let's say, the past decade that I've spent making multiple trips places, or, we're going to, to the park or to the beach or whatever, and I got to bring this and got to go back to the car and get that, and you forgot that. You throw it all in this little wagon, and away you go. You're done.
Yeah.
It sort of changes the dynamic of the day, because you got the blankets in there, you got the food in there, you got this, you got that. You're all set, and it's all in this little thing that just lives in your trunk. So it takes up no space at all. So it's kind of cool.
Good. I like the fact it doesn't take up space, because you haven't seen my trunk, but I need all the space.
I've seen all your gear, though.
Thanks.
Make some room, Chuck. Make some room.
Yeah. So my second round pick is I'm also tending toward that practical, and I'm also trying to stave off disaster. My second pick is a subscription to Backblaze, the online backup service. This is, once again, one of those things that you kind of set it and forget it, and you hope that you'll never need it. But if you do need it for something as simple as, oops, I deleted a file and I really want to get it back, right up to the point of my computer was stolen or the dog ate it or something, and I've lost all my data. Backblaze runs in the background. You can, and I especially like the fact that you can set how much of your bandwidth it will occupy. So if you want to try to saturate your bandwidth and move as much stuff as possible, that's great. If you dial it down and just want it to be minimally impacting your bandwidth, obviously it'll take a little longer to do backups that way. But I really appreciate that. And most of us are doing, in a day, you're not doing that much, and so you really don't need to fire all that bandwidth up across to make sure you're totally backed up. They also have some options for giving and receiving hard drives to ease the pain of starting your backup or getting it back. They just feel like they're doing everything right. There was another backup service that went out of the personal backup space. And so I've been using Backblaze now for a couple of years. I absolutely love it. Their customer service is very responsive. And once again, I feel like they're doing everything right. So Time Machine is fantastic, and I really appreciate Time Machine, and there are plenty of other kinds of backups you should have, but you should definitely have one off-site, well away from everything, and Backblaze is where I'm doing it. So check it out.
That makes me happy because I've been doing it, I don't know, at least a couple years now. And Chuck, you are my idol in like, what's the category? Like being careful about everything. And if that's your choice, then I'm glad that that's my choice too.
Thank you. I think the category you were looking for, Gene, is paranoid.
Well, there's that. Yeah. And I will second the notion of you don't remember that you even have it. Like with Time Machine, you know, every once in a while it's backing up. I don't know, or at least that's how it used to be. Honestly, I'm not using Time Machine anymore. I'm just using Backblaze plus local cloning. But I wanted something off-site, and for a while I was taking hard drives over to my sister's house and swapping them out of her cupboard. Oh yeah, that's really sustainable. I'll always remember to do that. Not. So I don't know what it was that finally made me bite the bullet on Backblaze. And I was very glad that I had done it because, as you mentioned, there was another plan that crashed. And so this Backblaze is still there, and they seem to be doing everything right. And also I can say their customer service is really good because I set my sister-in-law up on it, and she is not a techie, and there were like issues, and they got them all straightened out. But all I had to say to her was like, all these pictures of my nephew, like what's going to happen if your hard drive crashes? Boom. It's like, oh, that's totally worth $5 a month. So
good. Well, I'm glad because it seems like the subject of backup is one that everybody gets tired of hearing, and I'm afraid that sometimes we give it too much attention and people stop listening. But you see the pain. I mean, I hate to bring it up, but the fires in California and floods and everything.
Not laughing.
And and one of the first things that you hear people say while you see their house smoldering in the background is, "Oh my God, I've lost all my pictures."
Right.
And you think, in today's world, that's so easy to avoid. Why don't you? So
Well, I mean, it's like when you get a flat tire, right? Unless you don't find out that your spare is flat until you get the flat tire, and then it's like, oh, how stupid am I that I didn't just do that and to make sure that it was taken care of just in case. And if you hear about backup and you understand the importance of it, especially like you said, Chuck, with these fires that are causing people to lose all of their worldly possessions in California, and that it's like $5 that could be insurance against that. So it's one less thing to worry about. Then why not just do it? It takes, not that much time to get set up and get all your stuff up in the cloud so that you're relatively safeguarded for, any catastrophe that might occur.
This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by Opsgenie by Atlassian. With Opsgenie, your next incident doesn't stand a chance. If you visit Opsgenie.com right now, you can sign up for a free account and then add up to 5 team members for free. Why would you want to do that? Because incidents occur, no matter how hard you try to prevent them. Sometimes they happen because of something you did, or something you didn't do. Or maybe you had nothing to do with it. The bottom line is that your service is disrupted, your customers aren't being served, and you need to get it taken care of as soon as possible. And that's where Opsgenie comes in. With Opsgenie, your dev and ops teams get notified of the problem quickly. But in a global 24/7, 365, everyone always on the go world, that's not enough. The right people need to be notified. The team in Sydney may be winding down while the team in Paris is just getting started. Or the critical team member in London may be on vacation. And let's not forget weekends. Opsgenie takes care of that by making sure that, through a series of smart scheduling options, the team that is awake and on the job is alerted. And if they can't fix the problem quickly, Opsgenie can quickly escalate the problem so more resources can be brought to bear. Your customers don't want interruptions. You don't want interruptions. When you and your team are armed with Opsgenie, issues are addressed faster and more efficiently. And that's exactly what it takes to meet today's business expectations. Opsgenie by Atlassian at Opsgenie.com. Sign up for your free account with your 5 team members now and find out what it can do for you. With Opsgenie, your next incident doesn't stand a chance. Thanks to Opsgenie for their support of MacVoices. All right, that takes us halfway through. So maybe we can. That felt like it ended on a down note. So let's see if we can bring it back up. And David, that puts all the burden on you.
All right. Well, I'll pick this one up. This is a little more than an inexpensive item, but I thought it was very well worth the value. Our friends at OWC, they have some great products, and I really am loving my Thunderbolt 3 dock, which is a very expensive dock, but well worth the price because it's giving me all kinds of ports to hook up on my desk. But sometimes I want to be able to travel and have some of the hookups like I have on that dock. So they have this great travel dock. It's a USB-C travel dock. It's got very compact size, very, very tiny in size. It's got 2 USB 3.1 ports. It has a USB-C auxiliary port, which will support up to 60 watts, SD card reader, HDMI 2 port. It'll also support a 4K display, which is pretty awesome for a small little dock like that. And it's fully compatible with all the Thunderbolt 3 equipped Macs and PCs for that matter. And it comes in 3 or 4 different colors, which is always exciting. My MacBook Pro is a space gray, so of course I ordered the one with space gray, but you can also get it in gold, silver, or rose gold. So small little stocking stuffer, I would think, for your technology person in your life, and I think it would be something real easy to have to travel around, so you have all the hookups and not have to carry or lug around a big dock with you.
Good pick, real good. OWC stuff is always
great.
But
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at my Thunderbolt 3 dock now. I've had it for over a year now, and it's just been awesome. I mean, just easy to hook up. The only drawback I didn't like was the Thunderbolt USB-C cable is very short. It's only like maybe 2. I think it was a couple feet, if that. So I wanted to have my MacBook go over to here. I had to get another cable to extend it. But beyond that, everything else is great with it. This dock, the cord's built in, so it's just, you have it right next to your laptop. You can plug it in any time. Now I have a MacBook Pro 15-inch, which is a little higher wattage, so I probably won't be able to use it for power, but I wanted it to be able to hook up other things, so it should be okay. Because if I'm plugging in, I can plug it into one of the other ports anyway, so I don't necessarily have to power it. So
Very nice. Very nice. Gene, expensive or inexpensive for round 3?
I'm saving my most expensive thing for round 4. So because I mean, it's an aspirational gift, and this is a very practical gift that I am going to recommend. I was a little surprised not to see anybody else pick anything like this. So, Chuck, you can tell me if I'm breaking the rules, but it seemed to me that this was still something available to be picked, and that is I'm picking the Anker. I'm back with Anker. PowerCore 5000 ultra compact external battery for your iPhone, which is one of the, I call them lipstick size, chargers, even though I myself don't have any lipstick, but I have room for lipstick in my purse because I don't have all the other stuff. And this, but I'm going to say like I think it's about $20, and it comes in different colors. And I'll be giving you the link, Chuck, to that, plus a couple others, because there are other makers of these that have also very good product and maybe come in different colors. Which, honestly, during the holidays, it's nice to be festive. I'm showing off right here for the video. This is my Jackery little power thing. Also that would be a big lipstick, but still nonetheless it's very portable. But what I have attached to it is the second part of this pick, which is a little short lightning duo in one cable, which lets you charge your phone because it has a lightning end, but then because it also has, I don't know, is this the micro USB?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Yeah.
That lets you charge the charger. And that's important, so,
That's so cool.
Because these things don't come with cables, or they come with, just a basic cable. But this, switching this back, I can now charge the charger up. And these things run, so I've been getting the Skiva brand, Skiva, the last year, and this is the reason I'm recommending it, is that of all the gifts I've given in the last couple of years, this is the gift that I keep getting compliments on, or people saying, "Oh my God, that saved me," and they love the little cable that goes so I include the cable as part of the gift. Depending on how many gifts you're giving, you can get that cable in multiple packs. You can get it usually in black or white. So depending on the charger that you get, you can get a color coordinating cable to go with it. But that's my recommendation, is the charger plus the cable. And your non-techie friends who were always wondering what to do when their phones, their iPhone batteries died, will be like, oh, this is all I have to do. Just keep this thing in my bag. So that's my pick.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with having a little extra power with you. So.
Yeah.
And Jackery makes some good products. I've owned them over the years too.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Jackery as well. They used to have more colors and options. And then I started liking Anker products as well. And I even, for Chuck, I'm going to give you a link to another maker of these things that has even more colors. That's and a little cheaper. Not a brand I know, called PowerAd, the Slim 5000 mega whatever. But it has super good reviews too. And for these little gifty gifts, I'm not that concerned about getting like the, oh my God, the most technologically advanced version of the battery, because having a battery versus no battery is a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's really well said. Yeah.
Very well said.
Thank you.
I wish I could have had a picture of Frederick's face when Gene was showing that, because he seemed really intensely interested.
I didn't get to see.
I have notes. I'm gonna I'm going to order all these things. Gene, you are spending my money.
Yeah, but I'm spending it in $20 increments, unlike you. You know, $1,300 right off the bat.
All at once. But I'm going to use that $1,300 device to buy the things that you recommended tonight on the show. So it all comes full circle. It's all good. I want to piggyback on yours, Gene. I saw this. I don't own this device yet, but I saw this on one of those recommendation blog posts for Black Friday, and it's actually on the Anker website. It's called the PowerCore Fusion. The PowerCore Fusion, and it is a power brick that plugs into the wall, kind of like your MacBook Pro power brick, but it's black. But on the other side of it, it's got 2 USB ports and a USB-C port, which can power those things. But that's not the best part about it. The best part about it is it has a battery inside of it that stays charged as long as you've plugged it into the wall. So as long as you have your power brick with you, you don't even need a wall outlet. You just plug it into that thing and it becomes sort of your power.
Ooh, I see it.
You see it? Yeah. I'm on this quest to get less things in my bag. And I was looking at that. I was like, I could get rid of some things if I just get that. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's only $25.
I was going to say, are you sure this is one of your picks? It's only $25.
Hey, my real pick is relatively inexpensive. So, that's this guy. This is my pick.
Okay.
So this is get on mic. This is my camera bag. It is from a company called EBags, and the model is it's the eBag Pro Slim backpack. So, photographers are on this sort of never-ending quest to find the right bag, which is kind of like chasing the horizon, right? And this bag, and I own dozens of bags, right? So bags get sent to me, or I'll just get on a whim buy a bag, or I need this bag for this specialized purpose or whatever. And you end up with all these bags that take up all the space, and you're not really using any of them. I wanted a backpack, but I had some specific requirements. I wanted a backpack. I wanted to be able to get my 15-inch laptop in it, an iPad, maybe a camera, a small mirrorless camera with an extra lens and a notepad, just the normal stuff I wanted to keep in there. And I found this backpack that was basically designed for that. It even has a hardened, removable compartment here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. Here at the bottom, this is a hardened, removable compartment that you keep all your cables and, extra, rechargeable batteries, all that stuff just goes in there. And then the rest of it's got purpose-built pockets for your MacBook Pro or for, a 15-inch laptop or smaller. And for your tablet, all these different things go into very specific areas with lots of sort of general purpose areas and zippered pockets that are fishnet for little adapters and cables and that sort of thing. I've been using this bag for, I want to say maybe 6 months now, and it goes everywhere with me. It is that bag now. It is the bag that has all my stuff in it all the time. And the cool thing about this bag, it is not a camera bag. So in the camera industry, the photography industry, everything, just move the decimal point over. So everything, it's like golf, right? Everything is much more expensive than it would be in the real world, right? So
that's awesome.
But this bag, because it's not in that industry, was like, it's under $100. It's like $79, and it is at least as well made as any of the more expensive camera bags that I own. So I would definitely check it out if you're kind of a backpack person. And they also make a smaller version of it that was just kind of a go bag and different colors and leather and all that. I'm more of a sort of a, just a plain old standard black nylon kind of guy. And it's been working great for me. I've gotten caught in the rain with it. Still holds up, protected all my stuff. It is brilliant. It is so good that here's my recommendation on it. When I bought it, after I used it for a couple of weeks, I was like, I really love this bag. So I was thinking maybe I should buy another one just in case they go out of business or, something happens. It wouldn't hurt to have another one in the garage, right? So at that price. So I recommend it. It's pretty cool. Again, it's the eBag Pro slim backpack. I just bought it off of Amazon, and it was on Prime. It showed up a day later, and we're off into the races.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm not sure I've ever heard of anyone having a backup backpack, though.
If you love a thing, you want to make sure
you want an extra.
Give it up. Yeah, you need an extra. Always buy two, Chuck. Always buy two.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I can say the same thing about your new iPad Pro.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, on that iPad Pro, here's an advice tip. So I go, I had my other iPad with me. One of my reasons for going in the store was to get this band, but I also wanted a silicon case like I have for the iPhone, right? Because I wanted that for the iPad. I'm like, I want it to match, and I love the grippiness of that case. So I go in there. Of course, they didn't have it. They had all their other stuff. Then I got sidetracked. Once I made, we were in the process of making the purchase for the iPad. Since I had my old iPad there, they're like, well, you want to trade that one in? We'll knock some money off of the new iPad. I'm like, yeah, why not? Look it up. My old iPad is iPad Pro, previous edition, 9.7 inch, Wi-Fi and AT&T, 256 gigs of RAM. So it's a beefy iPad. And they're like, yeah, we could give you $150 for that.
No.
This is what I told the girl. I was like, for $150, I will put it in the closet to spite you.
I did the same thing. I had the iPad Pro 10.5 inch. I traded. I wanted to see what Apple would offer with because I have the same iPad you bought as well.
Yeah.
$325. That's crazy. I turned around and sold it to somebody at work for $750. So
yeah. I'd either put it in the closet, or I'd rather give it to somebody and gift it,
right,
rather than give it to you. And you're a $1 trillion company. You can't give me. And I'm giving you all this other money. So I walked out a happy customer with my iPads when I left the company.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it to me to have an extra iPad in the house for somebody else to use. Like my nephew. In fact, I do have one, and we call it the guest iPad.
That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, just have it as a floater. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. See, adding value every time you speak. I love this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Wait till you see my next pick. You're not going to be impressed.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm going to wrap up round 3. For some reason, a theme developed with my picks that I really didn't see coming. This is about backing up and securing your data, but in a little bit different fashion. As anyone knows who's watched MacVoices for any length of time, I am a huge fan of Drobo. And so I'd love to tell you that this is the Drobo you want, or that's the Drobo you want. You really have to go, though, and look, because they have expanded their line, and they really have something for everyone now. So if you're looking for serious heavy-duty performance, they have Thunderbolt-equipped Drobos. If you're looking for something that is a little less performance and maybe a little more economical, they have USB 3 Drobo connections. If you're looking for something that probably Frederick would love, the new Drobo 8D Thunderbolt 8 bays.
So,
is it expensive? Because
yes.
Well, that's a little pricey, but
because he would love that apparently.
Yeah, but you can set these things. I mean, there are several key features here. Number one is that they're expandable, so you can put 2 drives in them. You can put 3, 4, or up to, with the 8 bay, up to 8 drives. You can set them so that there's either single or double redundancy, so that if 1 drive or even 2 drives go bad, you don't lose any data. Maybe best of all, I'm not quite sure because everything is important here, but the idea that, okay, I filled my Drobo up with 4 terabyte drives, and now I'm running out of space and I need more space. Well, in any other situation, you'd have to go and buy a new enclosure or a new drive. With the Drobo, you just pop out a drive, 4 terabyte, slide in a 6 terabyte or 8 terabyte, and you've got more storage. And you can just keep on doing that. I believe the current Drobos support up to, I think they said 15 terabyte drives. 15 terabyte drives. That's 15 terabytes on one drive. So, and with the 8 bay, that can support 8 of those. So you do the math and tell me how quickly you can fill them up. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I've never lost any data in a Drobo. I can't say that about any other drive system or any kind of drive that I've used because of the single and double redundancy, because of Drobo's customer support, and because of their quality. Right over my shoulder there is one drive. Oh yeah, and I didn't mention the network attached storage drives, the NAS drives. They make those too. Same thing. That is one of the NAS drives. If I turn my camera around, which I'm not going to, there are an embarrassing number of Drobos on that wall. So I'm not going to show you how many.
I'm sorry. I don't think Drobos and embarrassing can ever be like in the same sentence. So.
Well, for one person, Gene, yeah, this is a little bit overkill, but you know, it's me. So
we all buy storage. We have to have it.
Yeah, but David, that's the thing. You're right. We do have to have storage. Our storage needs keep on growing,
right.
And that's what I love about Drobo is I don't have to go and buy a lot of new cases or new anything. I just buy new raw drives, slide them in, upgrade my Drobos, and keep on going. So check them out, drobo.com. They're all kind of price points, all kind of variations. The Drobos will run applications as well, so you can have your own cloud application. You can have your own media servers. A lot of cool things you can do with Drobos, including time machine backups or backup volumes. So go check them out. Okay, so that means we're into the fourth round, and this is where things get interesting because most of our guests often have several picks they'd like to make, but we only allow one, and so they've got to figure out which one will make the most impact. So, David, are you up for the challenge?
I think I am. I don't know if you can necessarily gift this, but I think it'd be interesting. You would want to give it to somebody. We were just talking about it on my podcast about Flickr. You know, Flickr just announced about that they're going to be changing their business model finally, because that free 1 terabyte of storage was just insane because everybody in the world was uploading all their photos because they had free storage everywhere for Flickr. So I never understood that business model, and I was so glad when SmugMug bought them from Yahoo. And I was waiting to hear back to when they were going to make some changes, and finally they made their announcements I think it was about a week ago. So now what they're going to do is anybody who has a free account is going to get pushed all the way down to only allowing 1,000 photos. So people better get cracking if they want to get rid of a lot of their stuff. I know a lot of people probably have Flickr was kind of an afterthought. I don't think anybody was really thinking about it. But the neat thing about Flickr is the fact of its community, being able to share photos. I know Frederick can appreciate that, being a photographer himself. Yeah. And that's what's great about Flickr is I always maintained a pro account over all those years with that, because the free account was silly. I mean, I wanted to support them because I thought it was a great service. So now what they've done is now they're going to change the Flickr Pro plan to unlimited storage. That's awesome. For $50 a year, unlimited storage of photos, and they're not going to downsize them like what Google does. Now, Google Photos is you only get 16 megapixels, and then they start cutting down your quality. Yeah, so you can have raw photos and all that stuff up there. So it'll be unlimited storage, ad-free browsing, advanced stats, and being able to know what you're doing. You're going to get Premier support, which you didn't get. Yeah, good luck getting support from Yahoo, right? It was crazy. So and they're fun to share. And I think I'm friends with you on Flickr too, Chuck, and a lot of other of my friends. And I love to see what people do and what they do when they post their photos. You know, right now they're actually offering a 30% off deal through November 30th, where they'll take 30% off of it. So I still had another year left in my plan because I was a pro from last year. So now I went ahead right away, purchased that. That's $34.99 for unlimited photos. I mean, how can you complain about that? Again, I don't know if there's any easy way to gift it other than to say, hey, let me give you money towards it, because I don't think they have any buttons to gift it. But I thought, why not? I had it in my list here. I said, I think it's something that you should gift to somebody. because it's a great service, and I'm glad they were coming back, and I'm so happy that Smugwig bought them, and it's going to get better and better. I know they're going to get rid of the Yahoo sign-in in January, which that'll be finally we can get rid of our Yahoo accounts for good. And I think that was a great pick. I saw Chuck's face when I picked that.
This is only the second time I've had a pick stolen this year, and they are on my list. So you knocked me off. But great pick. Everything you said about Flickr, I agree with. I think it's a great service. If you don't use it for any other reason than just to, I know they're not supposed to be a backup service, but it's great to have your photos out there where you can look at them, share them, and you still have a little sense of security that if everything else goes wrong, they're still there. Well,
and plus they're offering unlimited. So, I mean, they're obviously doing that for a reason. I mean, do you have a SmugBug account too, Chuck? I'm not sure if you use SmugBug, but I'm sure Frederick does. And SmugBug is a more professional photographer's type of service, whereas Flickr's just it's more mainstream. But the cool thing too is you can get the iPhone or the iPad app, and you can have all your photos on your iPhone sync to Flickr. So I mean, honestly, if they're going to offer unlimited storage, I would think you can consider it one of your many places that you're backing up photos, and be able to share them with anybody you want, or you can keep them private. So you have that's what's great about it being a community. You can choose what to and not to share.
Yep.
Agreed.
I approve that pick.
Excellent.
Mark me down for $50 more bucks.
Yes.
Chuck.
Well, $34.99. But anybody, you guys haven't even gone there right now. It's on their site. Click that link and do it.
And I've been Flickr Pro for a very long time, paying $25 a year. But this was the first year I was like, I think I should not be paying for this because I'm not really using it. But now you've given me all these reasons to use it.
Absolutely.
And I can protect my investment in Flickr by just keep going.
And there's that roller coaster ride that Flickr and Yahoo were going through for a while there, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When they got acquired by Verizon, and then what's going to happen? And you don't want to put your precious memories with a question mark. But now the question mark is gone, that SmugMug has them, and I can't think of a better parent to Flickr SmugMug. So,
and it seems like SmugMug is just kind of going to leave them alone. They're going to just work. They'll operate as independent services, and bravo for that, because a lot of companies who gobble things up like that, they want to just merge it into the service and be done with it. So that's very smart on SmugMug's end to do that.
Agreed. Good job, David.
Good pick.
Okay, Gene, you've been teasing this, it seems like. So
that's right.
What's coming?
I'm pretty sure I have the first item that nobody else on the panel will want, yet it is a very exciting product, and it is the Dyson Airwrap hair styler.
I need that right now.
I'm not making a comment on your...
Is that singular hairstyler?
Your one hair, you can sell it. No. So earlier this fall, Dyson released this. It's called the Airwrap, and a couple of techie friends of mine who are women were all over it. They were like, we should check this out. It sounds awesome. So of course, Dyson has a very high reputation for quality stuff. I mean, vacuum cleaners. This is not a vacuum cleaner for your head, but it is using, obviously they have engineers who understand how to use air and, little engines and stuff like this. So let me just start with the manufacturer's suggested retail price for this, which is $550. And you think, as I did, that sounds insane. But once I heard, so primarily Christina Warren and Brianna Wu on the Rocket podcast were talking about it. And they were pointing out how much time we spend on our hair, how much money we spend on our hair. When we, I know like for certain events, like if I'm going to be presenting in front of a big audience, I will like throw down $50 to have my hair professionally blow dried. I mean, there's a whole industry around blow drying your hair, and I've done it probably 10 times. So that's $500 right there. And if I had a thing that actually worked to do this, and one of the selling points of this appliance is that it doesn't use the highest heat, which is another, bugaboo for hair styling, is that, heat is not good, but heat also seems to work. So I have watched the videos. I've talked to Brianna about how she likes her. She says, oh my God, you totally, it's an amazing piece of equipment. And here's the thing, you can't even get the thing. Okay. So on Amazon right now, I think you can buy it for like $1,000 because that's how scarce the supply is. I put my name down for, notify me when this is available at the normal price of $550. And here's the thing about it. From a gift point of view, so if you have that amount of money and you want to splash it out on somebody who uses blow dryers on a daily basis or whatever, and have to put a lot of work into styling their hair, and you can figure out how to get this thing before Christmas, you should do that. I think you'll be very popular. And worst case scenario, if they don't want it, you will easily be able to return it because the demand is so high. But the other thing about this that is super interesting to me, and this is Brianna again talking about it on Twitter, is like, hey, this is what happens when you have a diversity of engineers with your company who say, maybe our technology could be used for something other than vacuuming the floor. And maybe there's a need out there in a community of users that are not your typical geek guys who, don't think about, as I'm sure none of you have. Mm-hmm. And, how much would you be willing to pay for an appliance that made your life that much easier and, you could look that much better? So that's my pick. The Dyson Airwrap, $550. It's crazy, I know, but I love the whole story, and the whole twist of it, because it makes me excited to think what else is out there that if women were giving their input, we could have. Okay.
I have to tell you, Gene, when you started to name your pick, I was holding my breath because this is the second time this year the Dyson has shown up in the gift guide. The first time, of all people, Brett Terpstra picked a new Dyson vacuum cleaner.
I saw that.
And he said he loves it. He uses it every day. And he likes to vacuum his drapes or something. I don't know, but so I didn't know where you were going with that, but that is, you're right. I don't think us guys really appreciate we guys. I don't think guys appreciate, just the amount of money that ladies spend on their hair.
Yeah.
For all kind of reasons. I mean, our haircuts are bad enough, but what on charge you guys is crazy.
I tested with my wife. My wife's got you met my wife, Chuck, and she's got very curly hair, and it's very hard to she has to go to a hairdresser. It's very expensive to get her hair done. So,
you should totally look into this. Yeah, because they actually. So I said it's $550. That's for the complete set of attachments, but they actually divide it. You can only $500 get either the set of attachments that's aimed at people who want to straighten their hair, or the set of attachments of people who want to make their hair, have some curl in it. So I like both because I sort of go both ways with my hair, and I figure if I'm already spending $500, I will spend the extra $50 if I get the chance, because who knows how long it will take to get this Dyson Airwrap. But
So
yeah,
if anyone at Dyson is watching the show and you can help Gene move up the list a little bit,
yeah.
call me and we'll make sure we put
Just
this.
look at my hair; it needs it.
Yeah. Frederick, I'm looking for a big finish from you.
I got a big finish. Okay, so you invited a photographer on the show, so I would be remiss if I didn't make one of my picks photography related, right? So one of the questions that we photographers get all the time is, hey, you know about photography, which camera should I buy, right?
Yeah.
We get that all the time, right? And the answer to that is, it's twofold. How much money do you have? What kind of photography are you going to be doing? And do you have any friends that have similar cameras that you can borrow lenses from so that you could sort of build a little micro ecosystem? Based on those answers, the answer becomes pretty clear. But I wanted to recommend, well, first of all, the video that you're looking at me on right now is shot with a Panasonic Lumix GH4. It's an older model camera with a 15 millimeter f1.7 lens on it. That's why it looks better than a standard sort of webcam, because it's a mirrorless, removable lens camera that you're looking at me on. But I just had a conversation with some Panasonic reps yesterday. I was sort of pinging them about what their Black Friday sales would be if they could reveal what they were going to be doing. And they did. And they've got a bunch of stuff going on, but one in particular stuck out because it sort of answers, for me, it answers that question of which camera should I buy for, I would say, a good 75% of the people out there. And that's the camera that I'm on is GH4 with a micro four thirds 16 megapixel sensor on it, which is outdated. So there's a new camera out there called the GX85, which is orders of magnitudes better in most ways than the camera that I'm shooting on right now. So that camera, normally I think it retails for around $700. So they're bundling that camera, the GX85, with a 12 to 32 millimeter lens and a 45 to 150 millimeter lens. So two lenses, the camera, the battery, all this stuff. Normally that bundle goes for $1,000. So $999 is what they set it at. For Black Friday, they're knocking $500 off of that. So it's $499.
Wow.
$499 for a camera, a killer camera, and two amazing lenses. Right. And the cool thing about Panasonic, because this came from Panasonic corporate, this is a dealer bundle. So, any camera store that sells Panasonic Lumix gear or Best Buy, whomever that is authorized to sell Panasonic stuff, they have to offer this bundle. So I'm going to give the bundle name so that you can refer to it by name when you go to one of these resellers. So GX85WK bundle. So if you say, I want the GX85WK bundle, and it's got two lenses in it, they'll know what you're talking about because they're looking at the same PDF I'm looking at. And they have no choice but sell it to you for that $499. I would recommend that if you're at all interested in getting into pro level or even semi-pro level photography, and you're like, I don't know what I should do with lenses or whatever, just get this bundle. It'll get you started and on your way. So that's my ending sort of cherry on top pick of the week.
That's nice.
Wow. Yeah, I'll say. Gene, did you hear?
I was putting my hands over my ears because I'm like, no.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
I'm just hearing the money, and I don't need that right now. I'm like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Now I do. Thank you.
You do, because this camera, the camera that I shoot with personally every day is a Lumix G9, and this thing has most of the features that camera has in it. They have this thing called in-camera image stabilization, where it will kind of like that Osmo you were talking about, David. It will stabilize the shot, video or still, while you're taking it, so you can get better shots without motion blur and all that. But it takes it one step further.
Wow.
Both of these lenses have in-lens image stabilization, and when you marry them with the body, the system uses both of them simultaneously to lock down your image. So it's almost like you're on a steady cam with this.
Yeah, because Image
Yeah.
stabilization, that's like one of my top, features because of my lack of ability to hold the camera steady. And that's how I ended up with the new iPhone XS, where they were saying like, yes, better image stabilization and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, oh yeah, when you zoom, better image stabilization. I'm like, that's what I need for photographing my little pets.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I've never seen a bundle like that at that price before. So I was like, are you sure that's right? 500. You meant 50, right? 500 off, really? So
that's going to make some noise, no question about it.
Yeah.
Even at $1,000, for that bundle is a fantastic price. So
yeah. But it's the deal. That bundle is only available. Let me find the date on this PDF. November 18th through December 1st. So
time.
Now through I guess through the end of November. So.
That's great.
Yeah. So, and frankly, the odds are that this particular episode will not get out before Black Friday, but it will definitely get out in time for you to take advantage of that bundle. So, if you're thinking about it, folks, don't hesitate. Don't wait. Go in as Frederick said. Go and take that number with you and make sure that you're getting exactly what he said. But but as Frederick, as you said, though, they have no choice. They have to sell it to you, and you have to sell it to you at that price.
They have to. Yeah, it's part of their agreement with Panasonic for being a dealer of Panasonic stuff. They have, whenever Panasonic does these kinds of deals or bundles or whatever, the dealers have to respect that and offer it at those prices. And I would imagine a lot of them probably don't promote it heavily, right? Because why would you? But if you go in and say, I want this bundle at this price, then they'll have to do it. So
probably go to someplace like B&H Photo. They'll probably have it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. B&H. I'm sure Amazon will have it too, or your local camera reseller. Best Buy, I think, sells Panasonic gear as well.
Yeah. Good. Wow. Okay. I think you may have just killed everything. Great pick. Well, I'm going to end up with something that sort of incorporates a couple things, adds a couple things, and really won't necessarily cost you that much cash. It will cost you a little time. I'm going to suggest that you gift, and you can write it up in a card or a handwritten piece of paper or whatever. But I'm going to suggest that you give someone that you care about that maybe is a little less technical than you are, or a lot less technical, an hour or two of your tech support time.
Huh.
Now, I realize that you're just asking for it.
I should know.
So shouldn't we all? But so here are things that I would suggest that you put in that hour or two of tech support time. Number one, get them set up with 1Password and teach them at a high level. Don't try to get into all the features, but teach them at a high level how to use it, how to install the browser extensions for them, and show them how to use it within each browser that they have on their machines so that they will actually use it and know how to use it. Set up Backblaze for them so that they can see it, but you make sure that you get it set up for them correctly. You see it start its backup, and that way it's running for them, and they will be protected. Do some other things like just run the usual maintenance scripts like Onyx or the utilities. If you can, you might think about something like TechTool Pro or Drive Genius or some of the others that will, some of those, and frankly, I almost hate to say this, but some of the malware programs too might be not a bad thing for you to set up and run on their machines. You've got them there so that they will assist you in doing future tech support, but at least you can make sure that your loved ones have a clean machine, as clean as you can make it, as optimized as you can make it. And then after that, ask them what they want. Ask them, what other help they could use with their computer. What would they like to learn how to do? Because the odds are that you already know how to do it, and their needs are pretty simple, and you'll be able to fulfill them. But at the very least, you can help them avoid some disasters. You can simplify their lives a little bit, make them a little more secure online. will cost you some time, maybe cost you a little bit of money, but you also might be able to get credit for 2 or 3 different gifts if you follow some of the earlier earlier recommendations. So there you go. And it'll be quality time for you and them too.
I love that choice, Chuck.
Oh, that's a great idea. I mean, just me being an IT professional as I am, sharing my time is valuable as well as, and you want to give it to someone of your loved ones for sure. And I've been meaning to get my wife on 1Password. I think you've inspired me to finally get that taken care of. So
yeah,
great.
One thing I notice with a lot of friends, the reason they come to me is because they've run out of hard drive space. And I think that should be after 1Password, Backblaze is like something disk utility that shows you where all your hard drive space is taken up and whether you can delete stuff, because that is the silent killer, of the Macintosh is not having enough hard drive space.
Yep. Yeah. Great. And naturally, I just focused on the Mac, but the same can be true for the iPhone. I mean, there's not quite as much maintenance to do on your iPhone or your iPad, but at the same time, and Gene, you're right. It's easy, especially if you have one of the lower capacity devices. It's easy to run out. So show them how to see what is using how much space and figure out what they might be able to get rid of. So, good point. Guys, I think I've said this at the end of every panel, but I can't imagine a more diverse set of picks. I mean, we really ran the gamut. And Gene, I think you took us right off the deep end with the hairdryer.
I'm trying to diversify your audience, Chuck.
I love it.
There you go. We can put your hairdryer in my wagon, Genie.
I know. Oh, believe me, I already put the wagon in my wish list of everybody could use one of those.
Oh, everybody.
But I literally already bought the Anker plug thing that you mentioned.
Oh, did you?
I looked it up and I'm like, there's no reason I wouldn't want this. So just buy now, done with it.
Yep.
So, and I might buy more of them for Christmas presents, but I want one for myself and check it out. So
and test it first. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. I have officially spent money during the podcast.
I've done that many times.
Accomplished.
Frederick's work is done here.
My work is done. Yeah. Got spread it around the universe since I spent money today. So
okay.
Well, guys, I want to go around the room one final time, make sure that everyone knows where they can find you when you're not here sharing some holiday cheer. David, you're first up.
Yes, I do the podcast intouchwithios.com, and I also do a podcast with a good friend of mine on horse racing called offthechartsHorseRacing.com, as well as you can find me on Twitter at DaveG65. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for being here.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Gene?
Nowadays, I'm primarily on micro.blog, and my handle there is MacGenie, MacGenie. So feel free to follow me or follow my RSS feed there. You can follow me on that name on Twitter, but I'm slowly but surely weaning myself off the big social media silos. So I have a podcast. I have several podcasts. This is what happens. You can never just do one.
So, you're like Pringles, I know.
Yes, they are like Pringles. And so if anybody out there, like Chuck, is a fan of Orphan Black, the Canadian sci-fi thriller, I have a podcast called Sestracast, which is all about Orphan Black. Also with James Dempsey, we do a so-called productivity podcast called The Weekly Review, where we as non-expert productivity people talk about our week and how it went and how normal tips for normal people, I like to think. That's primarily where I am. But yeah, micro.blog in general, I'm the community manager there. So I see everything there, and I will be happy if anybody is interested in micro.blog or microcasting, shoot me an email at gene@micro.blog, and I'd be happy to get you set up.
Great, Gene. Thank you. I too am on micro.blog. I'm finding it an interesting experience. I'm still sort of figuring out the vibe, but I like it. I like it a lot. It feels like it's one of the places that a lot of the tech people have migrated away from, or supplemented maybe their Twitter presences with things like micro.blog. So good job. Happy holidays.
Thanks.
Frederick, where do we find you? As if I didn't know.
You can find me, all roads lead to thisweekinphoto.com. That's my podcast website. And on thisweekinphoto.com, we have a community, which you can find at twippro.com. And, there's a school and all kinds of other little This Week in Photo or TWIP branded services that we do. So yeah, definitely check it out. And we just published an episode today called Getting Started. I think it's Inside the Business of Architectural Photography. It's really interesting. Yeah, so he goes in. We've done several episodes on real estate and architectural photography, and people tend to really like that. So I decided to go back to that well again, but this time go into the business aspects of building a business or revenue streams on that kind of thing. So I interviewed this gentleman from Southern California that specializes in approaching new housing developments and doing the photography and the architectural photography for those people that are buying those new homes and that sort of thing. So he talked about how he does that, the pitfalls, how it's not as easy as it looks to get into that genre of photography and all kinds of things. So yeah, definitely check it out. We record the show weekly, so it's This Week in Photography. So we record it weekly, and we generally live stream it every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. So if you tune in, you can jump into the chat room and ask us questions and argue with what we say and all that kind of thing. So yeah, so definitely check it out. And if you don't make it to the live stream, you can always watch it on YouTube or subscribe to the podcast and consume it there. It's a long-running show in terms of longevity. We've been around. The episode that we're recording tomorrow will be episode 542, wow. I believe, of a weekly hour-plus long show. So that's a good chunk of time that we put into this stuff. So yeah, definitely check it out. And people seem to like it, so we'll keep doing it until they don't. So.
Great. Well, definitely.
They're all poor, but they're happy.
We are poor. We do a pick of the week segment on there, so beware.
Yeah.
Does each pick have a comma in it?
Yes. We should have some sort of some sort of indicator of how much this pick is going to be. So yeah, one day.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Frederick. Happy holidays.
Likewise. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. I do want to remind you again one more time, MacVoices.blog and also the holiday gift guide on Flipboard, because especially for this episode, I think you're going to want specific links to some of the picks. Really important that you get the right thing to get the right price and the right model of what was picked. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple Tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.